Good morning, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Miss Fan Show. I am your host, Miss Fans. Thank you, guys, so much for coming through. Much appreciated. Welcome to Super Bowl week. Yes, guys. Super exciting. It's still technically the end of the season, so we're gonna continue to enjoy that. But you know what I'm gonna say, guys. You know what I'm gonna ask. Go ahead and do me a favor. Hit that like button for me, please. Hit that like button. Let everybody else know we are live. Thank you very much. Yes, today we will be discussing on Tuesday his contract extension. He did speak a little bit over the Pro Bowl, so I wanted to go ahead and bring all that over to you guys and kind of give you a little bit of my perspective when it comes to this contract extension. So hit that like button, guys. Go ahead and hit that like button. Much appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Much appreciated. As always, public service announcement. Remember, let's go ahead and debate each other all we want. Just be kind to each other. That's all. Just think PBS kids. So let's keep it clean. And during the season, you can find Miss Fans Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern, guys. 8 a.m. Eastern every Monday to Friday. So go ahead and check us out because we're still in season, baby. As well as remember, guys, you can become a member. So great way for you to support the channel. So I know a lot of you guys support the channel. Much appreciated, guys. If you see that it looks like this or it looks like this, hit the like button, guys. Share and subscribe. Let everybody else know that, again, we are live. It's a great way for you to support the channel. Shout out to everybody watching on Twitter and Twitch. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. That way, it really does mean a lot. So thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Also, too, guys, you can donate to the channel, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all that good stuff. It's another way to support the channel, but 100% free. Like, subscribe, let everybody else know about the channel. Much appreciated. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to again to Tuesdays over here. So let's talk about Tua Tagovailoa's extension and what we kind of could expect, as well as a few other things, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as you guys already know, Tua will be playing on his, well, we've already given him his 5th year option. We picked up his 5th year option 2 year, or technically last off season. Yeah. The last off season, we picked up his 5th year option. So now he just finished year 4. Next year will be year 5. That fifth year option is going to be valued at 23 million, just a little bit over 23 million dollars that he's slotted to make this fifth year option. It is fully guaranteed. So while he earned in his rookie contract, which was roughly around 28, plus his $23 million, he's already made $52 million in the NFL so far. Just so you guys can keep that in mind. Whatever. Hmm. Now, as far as when it comes to Tua Tagovailoa, hey, good morning, Hutta Joe. Good morning, Chris. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much. Again, hit that like button. Thanks. When it comes to Tua, obviously, look, I've tried to ease us up into this because I know half that fan base does not want Tua to get a new contract extension. They'd rather have a new quarterback. But look, you have to understand, and the other half does want it. So you have to understand where the Miami Dolphins are at right now and what's going on in order for you to really understand why they're doing what they're doing. Okay. Now, as far as when it comes to the Dolphins, with his new contract, this new contract can actually lower the overall salary cap situation we're in right now. According to Spotrac, right now, currently right now, we are slotted to be negative 51, over $51 million over the cap right now, as in today's date. Um, so yeah, so right now we're already $51 million over the cap. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The new league year does come in March, and every single team has to be under that salary cap in order for them to make moves. If not, they won't be able to make moves. And guess what? Teams want to make moves, so they will be under the cap coming March. One of the best ways for them to do that is to be able to restructure certain contracts and things like that. Now, you can't restructure the fifth year option because, again, it's fully guaranteed. But once you do give to a contract extension, you are able to move that guaranteed money throughout, however many years you want to, based on how much that contract will be, how much realistically speaking the guaranteed money will be, because that's the money really that's gonna hit you the hard. That's gonna be the guaranteed money that will absolutely hit the cap. Everything else, anything that's not fully guaranteed from the contract, it's up in the air. But um, a lot of it is gonna, and the most important part is that guaranteed money, because that's the part that there's no getting around it. You will have to pay that money. Essentially, it's already prepaid. You know what I mean, to the players. But the only thing is, once you have the contract, you can kind of move it around, but to a certain extent. What's up, Jeremiah? Welcome, welcome. Good Tuesday morning, Miss Fans. Let's smash that like button. Let's go, Dolphins. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. Yes, hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button. Yes, yes, yes. In case you're wondering, it's it's doctor day, so I'm off today, and I have to go to I'm at my mother's. So if you guys are new to the channel now, you know why you don't see my very beautiful flag and hats. It's because I'm on location. Or I guess not on location. I will be on location once training camp comes back, because you guys know we get training camp and we're there 90% of the games. Well, the days. So there you go. Well, at least the ones that I can work, like go to work and not go to work. Then the ones that I can go when I have to take off work. You know what I mean. I try to attend as many as possible, but still gotta work. Um, Now, when it comes to Tua's contract extension, there's a few things that we gotta take into consideration. A few things we're gonna have to be doing. Now, Having that flexibility in the cap by extending Tua, it's gonna allow us to franchise tag somebody else. It's gonna let us free up at least at minimum $10+ million that we're gonna be able to take and move over from the cap. So from the negative 51 million, that'll at least at minimum $10 million will be eased up from there. Then you also have the other contracts to restructure as well to allow you to give you that flexibility. But I'm going to tell you something right now, ladies and gentlemen, before I continue, that if you know our GM, you know his tendencies. We talked about this last season. And his tendencies tend to be, we're not going to show that we have money. I guarantee you already, they've already, they've already in their minds, in their books, they've already worked on general restructures for all the contracts they can restructure, and we're gonna break all those contracts down um on a different day. I'll probably try to see if I can do it tomorrow, but I wanted to start with do it because this do it Tuesday. They already have a general idea. Okay, how much money can we move? How much money do we want to give other guys that we are restructuring? Because the way that the restructure works is you give the guy essentially what you're doing is you're going to take whatever is left in their contract and then you're going to give them a bonus. So you give them more guaranteed money, but that guaranteed money, because you're restructuring the contract, you're able to move that money down the line essentially. Um, a key example, whenever they created, uh, whenever we had X's contract, he actually kind of did this twice already, which I don't know if you guys saw this off season, or really throughout the season, not throughout the season, by the end of the season, they asked Xavier Howard, "Hey, are you going to be restructuring your contract?" Da, 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 da. And he was, he kind of looked like, "Are you going to give up money?" You know, because sometimes it does happen. Essentially, you get more guaranteed money, but you can get less years. So they can either extend it where they give you more dead years, if you will, to ride it out, that guaranteed money towards later years. But essentially, the guaranteed money is what's gonna be paid. So they'll give them a little bit more money. They also give them a little bit more time. Also, too, if they want to get rid of something and make it all within 1 year, let's say they have three-year contract and they want to go ahead and move that person and only make them give them 1 year so that way they can move off of them much quicker. They could also do a million things they can restructure as well. Um, um, and you're right, Joe. Yeah, he did ask if he wanted to take a pay cut, and he's absolutely said no. But with the restructuring his contract, they would just give him more money, more guaranteed money, and longer times. Now, as far as for Tua, because it's his extension. Um, and wait, before I go back to Tua, what I was gonna say is Chris Greer has already thought about where his money's gonna be, but he's not gonna show anybody. And you saw this of this last off season. There were plenty of guys that they could restructure to make more moves, but they didn't do that right away. Now, this is the only difference. They have to be under the cap by league year, which is March. So you're gonna see just enough guys for us to be right at cap, like right under the cap. But you're not gonna see all of his moves being played because he never does that. And that's what he uses to, hey, listen, we don't have money to be able to give you this. We want to be able to give you this. That's how he uses his that's part of his negotiation tactic. He's done it every single year. If you know our GM, he loves to do that. We'll be under the cap when March comes, okay? But they won't fully show all the potential money they can from all the restructuring or even cutting other players fully. What's up, Ryan AP? Welcome. Because he never shows that right away. He never wants to show that he has money in the pocket. But if you know, you know. If you know how the contracts work, if you know how the cap works, oh, okay, well, maybe he can still have. certain amount of money, he'll be able to go ahead and do. Now, every year you're allowed to take some money from one year and roll it over to the next year. We did roll over some money from the year before over to this year. Gonna use that money already. And then, now we'll have whatever other monies to roll over, which I don't think we do right now. Last time I checked, let me see here. Yeah, we had rolled over 1.7 million that we technically didn't use. Um, yeah. So when it comes to Greer, he's not gonna show his entire hand. Just trust me, he never does. That's just our. He will. Two things you can guarantee: he will never show how much money we really have or have the potential to have with risk structures fully or cuts or whatever. And two, he will always bargain shop. I'm talking every player you could possibly get that's semi good enough that maybe at one point had a one or two good years, right? But they're injured or coming off an injury or they're old. Like that's just crazy here. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, 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 no. We haven't officially given to good morning, Timothy. We haven't given to the extension yet. What I'm saying is I'm giving you an update on what that, what about the extension and what that could do for us. Because I know a lot of people don't want. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, we need to bring in other quarterbacks. We need to bring some real competition." It ain't gonna happen, ladies and gentlemen. And I've tried to ease us into this, but it's the truth. The Dolphins are not interested in anybody but Tua. They have hitched their wagons. McDaniel hitched his wagon. So did Greer. And that man is stubborn, Greer. So he's not gonna change it. He's not, and to be honest with you, who's out there for us to get anyways? Nobody. Not even the new draftees. So for me, this is it. This is it. So when it comes to Tua, obviously, just to recap real quick, Tua Tagovailoa, he just finished his season, third overall when it came to QBR or QB rating at 101.1. 101.1. It's point 0.5, but yeah, Light FM. If you're from South Florida, you know what you know what radio station that is. Anyways, he was tied for fifth in total touchdowns at 29 passing touchdowns. Tied for third in completion percentage at 69.3%. He was number one overall with passing yards at 4,624 passing yards, and was second when it came to yards per attempt at 8.3 passing yards per attempt. What's up, Kenna? Welcome, welcome. So those are his current ranks from when he left this past year, right? Now, I don't know if you guys were watching the Pro Bowl or not. They did reach out to Tua and they asked him, "Hey, Tua, what are you thinking about contract extension? Blah 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 blah." And he essentially said, "I'm gonna let my agent deal with it and with Greer and McDaniel overall." What's up, Shekel? Welcome. Um, Essentially, if you want to read between the lines, ladies and gentlemen, Tua fully expects to get an extension. And it looks like perhaps Miami has already told them our goal. And you heard Greer and McDaniel at the end of the year press conference. Our goal is to have Tua Tagovailoa here for the long term to play to play at a high level, which is I don't know if people still caught that or not. And I'm like, I mean, they're in. We all know they're in, but maybe they're gonna use that as a bargaining chip. Hey, listen, yeah, you were awesome, but back to back to back to back years, we haven't really because people forget this is his fourth year. Tua Tagovailoa hasn't played for 2 years, people. He's been played for 4 years. So no, no, no. I'm not saying Kenna he's holding out. What I'm saying, I'm just giving you guys an update generally on what that contract could semi look like and what's going on so far as his extension. Now, when it comes to when it comes um, to Tua, this is one of the things. Yeah, he had so many great. I mean, he's a top five quarterback. Whether people like it or not, Tua Tagovailoa ended up being a top five quarterback in the NFL last year. The problem is, on the flip side, he also went 1-6 versus winning teams. And if we're gonna be honest, the Cowboys, mm, mm, they weren't really. Oh, Kenna, I was hoping you're too much. I can't. Um, what's up, Steve? Welcome, welcome. Good to a day. Yes, it is. It is. Um, being 1-6 versus winning teams is it's not good. And even then, we only scored 22 points. I mean, thankfully, it was all we needed because our defense held them to 20. But it, Cowboys super suspect. I mean, they're just not a very good team overall. They'll get you stats, but go nowhere, and you don't want to be that. Tough five with my McDaniel system, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Uh, bro. Morning, Mark. Welcome. So that's the flip side. That's where you're gonna hear a lot of people be upset because it's like this guy doesn't deserve an extension. Now, a lot of people are gonna say, and I've heard plenty of people say he needs to play. Hell, I said it. He needs to play in his fifth year option. That's not gonna happen. But he needs to play in his fifth year option because A, we essentially already paid him this money. And B, to me, he's not a finished product. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Give him his fifth year, third year under McDaniel and his offense. You know it's gonna look different because of all the contract situations that we have going on. So I'm willing to give him another year to go ahead and develop. But let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, we has he given you everything you needed for to show you franchise quarterback elite? You can build around him, uh, and how do I put this, Lord? I don't know what to say sometimes because sometimes some people are just they take things a little bit too much, but he's still under construction. Let me just put it that way. Tua's still under construction. He's not. Excuse me. He's showing you flashes that he can be. Um, but now you're hearing, well, he worked on this year, he worked on that year, so now he can work on this and this, and then he'll be ready. Okay, great. I'm sure you're hearing a bunch of stuff that Tua's working on, that he's gonna be working on this off season. It's like, couldn't you do all that, I don't know, 2 years ago? And worked on that in the off season? Why is it that every off season is only like one or two things you work on? Can you maybe work on all that in the same off season? Why is it that it take you an entire off season to just work on one or two things? Like last season, like this past off season, not this one before, did you only work on being better at falling? Was that it? Because I feel like that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. Now it's, oh well, he just needs to work on this, and this so he can get better. And what do I mean by that? Throwing outside the numbers, throwing while getting hit in the pocket, having even bigger field of vision on the floor, being able to go through all his 18 different reads. Like, when it comes to him, the development is very slow, very, very slow. And let me tell you something else, too, ladies and gentlemen. We will never have a team as good as we did this past year. Period. 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 It's just you can't. You absolutely can't. Structurally speaking, the cap won't let you have. I don't care how many people you restructure. I don't care how many. You will not have as good of a team as we did this past season, which everybody says it's the best team we've ever had. Ever, or at least, in the last 20, 25 years. Okay, cool. We won't have that again. This team will look different coming next year. A lot of free agents that will be leaving, mostly because we can't afford to pay them. They've earned the right to be free agents. That's the Greer line. And this is the issue. And I've said this before, the Dolphins are stuck because they want to pretend like they are all in, but they also want to be developing their starting quarterback. You cannot be developing and be all in at the same time. It does not work, period. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Either your dude is ready to go with a few tweaks here and there, and then you're working on getting players around him that will elevate that even more, or you dismantle everything and then you can win now with that guy. Or if you really are going to develop, you kind of go like a Texans, like a Jets, even though the Jets might not be the best example right now. But what I mean is dismantle everything, get some really good young players throughout the draft, right? And then keep working on that until you find the guy for you, okay? AKA the Texans. Texans are a perfect example. You could even say the same thing with the Jaguars too. Young team, young talent built through the draft because they were so bad they ended up having so many high picks, right? They got their guy with Trevor, even though some people say, no, he finally got his head coach who's great with young quarterbacks. He'll be able to get him over that top. We're not there. We want our cake and eat it too. We want our cake, their cake, someone else's cake, and eat it too. You could not have your guy be developing and also want to be all in. And that flipped when the Dolphins ended up getting I knew I forgot something. When the Dolphins ended up getting Tyreek Hill. And you saw that last offseason. We had we absolutely had what do you call it? We had Cedric Wilson Jr., who was going to be our number two. Waddle was going to be our number one. We were here, guys, live when it happened. We literally were live when it happened under Stephen D. I remember I was done with my show. I went on Stephen D's. We had an awesome panel, and then live. We were literally, and I mean literally, live when they ended up picking and saying, "Oh, the rumor was it." Not even 30 minutes, 45 minutes later, because we were live for some time. We had some rumors. Oh, Tyreek might become available. Da 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 da. Okay, who's it gonna be? What team is looking for him? What's gonna happen? Are we gonna get a chance? Is this us? Are we doing this? And then yeah, it was us Jets. Who? What's it worth? Literally within 45 minutes, the Miami Dolphins have acquired Tyreek Hill. It threw everything out the wazoo. All what 5 picks we gave, plus the $30 million. There goes the cap, and there goes the future picks. So all that went out the window, and we instantly went through win now mode once we got Tyreek. But you can't be win now and be developing. That doesn't work. What's up, Dolphin Don? How you doing? Kayla says 3 years ago we were the youngest team in the NFL. This playoff season we were one of the oldest teams. Yeah, because we had to make up for it. Get cheaper guys that are on their last legs. So because we can't afford to pay everybody, and we still had to manage and deal with injuries like every other team. So that's the problem. And as far as when it comes to what's up, Rennie Perez, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, I think it's the first time I've seen you. Good morning to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hit that like button for me. Appreciate you. But yeah, you can't what do you call it? You can't you can't be doing both. Now, this is the other problem that we have too, because hey, you know, so we'll talk about Loa, top five quarterback, back to back playoff opportunities, finally was able to play a full season, so health it's not really that much of an issue. Or is it? You know? And then if you look at it, his entire class has already been paid. Herbert got his new deal in 2023. Joe Burrow got his new deal in 2023. Hertz got his new deal in 2023. Even though Daniel Jones wasn't technically in his draft, I don't believe. He got also a deal in 2023. What do all those guys who pretty much are around where he was drafted have in common, ladies and gentlemen? Can you guys tell me what those guys that I just mentioned, uh, what what do all those guys that I just mentioned, Herbert, Daniel Jones, also Jordan Love too, appreciate it, Mark. Um, Joe Burrow, what did all these guys have in common? And he didn't get paid yet, but he will. What's up, Lenny? Welcome, welcome. How you doing? Good morning. Welcome. I know Love hasn't gotten paid yet, but he will. But you'll see what I mean. What they all have in common, all those, even including Jordan, have in common. They all have. Well, great, great. That was actually um yeah, that was actually one of them. That's true. They all pretty much came out the same draft, if not like within one draft, right? With Daniel Jones, right? They all have postseason success, ladies and gentlemen. All of them. All of them have postseason success. All of them. But Miss Phins, Herbert hasn't won a playoff game. You know what? Hasn't he? Let me see. I think Herbert hasn't. Has he? Has he won a playoff game? No, he's had one playoff game in his tenure so far, right? He'll probably be the one that's similar, closest to if you will, right? Okay, fine. He didn't have, let's say Herbert didn't have postseason success. Okay, but he did have a bunch of other accolades that he did, and he's been top 10 every single year he's been in the league. Tua just became top 10, like literally this year. That just happened. Joe Burrow took his team to the Super Bowl. Has taken to the team every year. I don't think not one year they've missed the playoffs, except maybe this season because he was injured, so he didn't really play. He played like half the games, maybe. That's probably it. Every other year they've been in the playoffs. Took him to the Super Bowl. Took him to the AFC Championship. Hurts took him to the Super Bowl. Took him to an NFC Championship. Daniel DeVito has won a playoff game. Yes, if you not DeVito, sorry. Daniel Jones has won a playoff game. This is why they paid him that $45 million a year contract. So if you take a look at it, all those guys have had postseason, with the exception of Herbert in his class, have had postseason success multiple times. A, and B, the one that didn't still has played at a top 10 level every single year he's been in the league. Um, for real, delusional Patriots fan. Good morning to you, buddy. I don't know how the Chargers get so injured every year. They do. I don't. It's on. That's another thing. People complain about how well Tua. He's been playing with injured players. Not even close to the Chargers. Literally, Herbert hasn't played with a full squad not one of the years he's played. Not one. And I don't mean like a full, like everybody's super healthy, because nobody plays with that like that. At some point, players do get injured, but nothing like him. He's only had one weapon, if you really think I look at it, every single year. The other two weapons, or maybe three weapons, injured. Either injured for the entire season and they're out for a season, or injured for 2/3 of the season or half the season. It's insane how much. But yeah. So at the end of the day, this is what your GM, our GM, Mr. Chris Greer, you don't think all this is being taken into consideration? But like I said, people, because everybody's like, we need to make him play in a fifth year option. It's not going to happen. Somebody said it earlier, and I don't know who. I gotta go back. Hold on. Let me see here. Um. One of you guys said it, and I meant to highlight it, and I forgot. Where is it, brother? Okay, here it is. Thank you, Hooked Up Joe. Apparently, under 50 million is a team-friendly deal, and to a switch to athletes first for his agent. Is one of the biggest agents in pro sports. It could actually turn out they want too much money, and we do need to pay him for on the fifth. Speculation. It's the athlete's first part that I wanted. Tua did change agencies. He did change his representation this past off season from whoever he had to his new agency, Athletes First. And they're obviously going to be the ones negotiating the contract on his behalf, which is why during the Pro Bowl, when he was asked, he said, I'm just going to let my agent, Greer and McDaniel, talk about it, essentially. He's not worried about it, but he knows he's getting a deal. The Dolphins have pretty much told you, yeah, we want a long-term deal with Tua. Um, for us, that is, Good morning, Frost. How you doing, buddy? Is that winners? Oh, that is Dolphins winners. How you doing, Dolphins winners? Good morning. Have a good day, everyone. Yeah, fins up. But this is the thing. If you're a good agent, ain't no way you're letting your star player playing a fifth year option. It's just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. You're risking too much money. Way too much money. Um, way too much money. Yeah. And Greer has already told you the goal is to have him playing here on long term at a high level. So you could expect a contract deal to happen for him, honestly, by March. Like before March is probably it that I can think of. What's up, Franklin? Welcome. Good morning. You can expect the contact coming soon within the next 3, 4 weeks. Because again, they have to get under the cap for the new league year to start for them to continue to make moves. So they kind of put themselves in a corner. For the team, it makes sense play in a fifth year, and we'll give you that big contract the year afterwards. As a player agent, it doesn't make sense to let him play in that fifth year. Now, hold please. Let's go ahead and let's have this little gamemanship, if you will, and have this little uh, conversation of what I'm gonna bring up because I think it's actually pretty interesting. The Dolphins can say, "Listen, we really love what you're doing. You know, Greer, we love what you're doing. We want you to be here long term. We just want to be able to go ahead and give us another year, for us to be able to do our evaluation. The goal again is to keep you here long term. We just want to be able to go ahead and have you, show that consistency and play in the fifth year option, right? Like I said, we'll give you the extension and have those talks because it's happened before, ladies and gentlemen. And what typically happens, let's say if we don't end up, which again, we're just speculating, and I'm telling you right now, it ain't gonna happen, but I'm still gonna entertain it because I think it's still valid. There is still, I would say, a 1% chance that it will happen. But let's say they do tell them, hey, we really would want you to go ahead and play on that fifth year option so we can have that um, extra year of you playing consistently, staying healthy, blah 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 blah, right? And they could even tell them, look, this is the contract we're looking to give you. It's just right now the numbers, da 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 da, whatever they want to come up with it. We want to be able to have that extra year to have an eye on you. We didn't get a chance to do it when we drafted you. You know what happened the first 2 years. So we want to be able to see you year three under McDaniel, so we can go ahead and give you the that big contract, right? Which is a gamble because then you're really gonna have to pay out. If he comes out here, balls out, takes us to the Super Bowl and whatever, whoo, he's gonna cost us. You know what I mean? Which whatever, I don't care. I'd rather do that than just pay him straight up now. But I don't. It's not gonna happen. We will be doing an extension this offseason, ladies and gentlemen. I am 99% sure on that. When it comes to, let's say they do ask him to play in a fifth year option, his agent's gonna be like, absolutely not. And then what happens? Then we're kind of screwed. We got a guy we're paying 23 plus $1 million for this fifth year who won't be playing. What do we do, ladies and gentlemen? What do we do? That's when you see the wheels for other people saying, well, we need to bring in another quarterback. We need to draft a quarterback. We need to see what we got in Mac Jones, Mike White, Skyler, whatever, right? All those options come into the table because at the end of the day, you're still going to play the season, right? So let's say Tua does end up holding out, which again, 1% chance of that happening. Um, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That would be very interesting. That would be very interesting. But I do not I do not believe, in my opinion, he will be playing in that fifth year option. It doesn't make sense as a player. You can get injured. A lot of things can go wrong, and you don't want that. But then again, there's this half holding out, half not holding out. But if he does end up holding out, then they don't have to pay him all the money that he is essentially slotted to make this fifth year. If you don't play, if you're not available, if you do hold out, then it's like, well, we're not gonna pay you not to be here. So there you go. In my opinion, if he were to decide to hold out, Please, Lord, let it be. He should hold out, in my opinion. Please hold out. Absolutely hold out. Let's see what we got because let's be honest. No matter who we're thinking, as I've heard Justin Fields, I've heard some other quarterbacks out there that people are looking for, who are interested in it, which to me is great. It don't matter who they bring. It does not matter who they bring. They're not giving to a real competition, no matter how much you can think of. They're not gonna draft a quarterback and give competition. They're not gonna bring in anybody else. They're not bringing no veteran quarterback to give it. It's not gonna happen. Period. It's not gonna happen. They have hitched their wagon. They absolutely love Tua, and they want to prove that their decision when they picked him, fifth year overall, I mean fifth overall in the 2020 draft, that it was the right decision. They want to prove everybody, or at least the people that don't believe that was the right decision, wrong. Okay, cool, no problem. But let's not also be in fairy tale. It doesn't matter who they bring. Nobody will be giving this man any competition. He didn't have competition in high school. He didn't have competition in college. He didn't have competition in the pros. It's just not gonna happen. He's not gonna get competition. Period. Period. So what do you do if you're the Dolphins? Well, I mean, we could bring in somebody else, right? Like a Fields, or even a veteran like a Cousins or somebody else, right? That's again coming off of an injury because they love that. Or just saying, why don't we already utilize the players we have in house? Hey, listen, you want to sit out? No problem. It is your right. And you know what? He should sit out. Let's go ahead and see what Skylar Thompson has under Mike McDaniel. Because if Mike McDaniel is so good at getting Tua, a fifth overall pick, to be so good and effective and a top 10 quarterback, right? Giving him all that focus, then I think he should be able to do the same thing with his seventh round rookie. He was able to coach him up in the playoffs. So there's some talent there. He did draft him, because people say, oh, he needs to get his own guy. I'm like, guys, he already got his own guy, Skylar Thompson, right? And Brock Purdy has given a light to like all those guys who are drafted super late in the draft. You never know what you have. Why don't we go ahead and let's see what he has? Let's set up this offense for Skylar Thompson. Keep Mike White as a backup, fine, whatever. But let's see what our rookie or second year now, yeah, second year. Third, well, he'll be in his third year because last year was his rookie year. This year is his second year, so he'll be coming into his third year, right? Let's see what we got with the young man. Why not? Look at what the 49ers did with their seventh round pick. Literally, Mr. Irrelevant. Now, Mr. Irrelevant is relatively playing in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And you never know. It could be that whatever McDaniel. I mean, I don't want to limit my head coach. Everybody tells me how he's such a genius. I'm like, great. I don't call him that. I think he's a very creative, very young head coach. Why not? You know, let's see what he can put together for because again, to me, the way I see Skyler, he could be our Matt Moore for the next 10 years. You're still gonna have to develop him. And he showed you competency when you actually, I don't know, took the time to set up a game plan, gave him the first, give him actual reps. You saw what he was able to give you, right? So now, let's go ahead and see what it is to having a full season under him. You never know what could happen. I still don't think he'll take the job from Tua, in my opinion. The Dolphins will still somehow extend Tua, give him this long contract. But if you can secure your Matt Moore, why not? And hello, having a backup that's really good, it's actually extremely smart in the NFL because you never know what's going to happen Ask the Jets. Gone in 60 seconds. Nobody, not even Vegas, saw that coming. So, yeah, why not? Having that strong backup, but you know what? What's the best way? And I always tell you this, all the young players, when it comes to development, you have to have in-game experience. Skylar's only played like a couple games and a playoff. He already has playoff experience. And almost beat it was 3 points in 4 minutes and puffed the Magic Dragon away from beating the Buffalo Bills in their house. If it wasn't for the carelessness of our head coach and a few drop balls, but whatever. You see what I mean? So let's develop him with the idea of, hey, we got Tua. We're gonna sit him out. It's only gonna help him with Tua's health. You know what I mean? And then while we're working on the contact, blah blah blah, right? Let's go ahead and see what we got with Skyler. Can he be the Matt Moore for the next 10 years and be that solid backup? You see what I mean? Because I can see into the future. To me, at minimum, he could be our Matt Moore and be our solid backup. Or he could end up being one of those insanely really good quarterbacks and be like a Purdy and come out here and just steal the show. And I don't mean actually steal the job from Tua. I mean like surprise everybody and end up having a good marriage between McDaniel and him, the offense, whatever place we end up being, and rattle off wins. Maybe even win the division, something insane. And like I'm going as super homer and positive as possible. You know what I mean? And even if he were to go ahead and have all that and be what do you call it? And have that great outcome, I still don't think that they're gonna sign him to a long year deal or anything like that. But at least we'll know, okay, we got a solid, young, solid backup that if need be, if anything happens, we know we can win games with him. What's wrong with that? I don't know why people are so triggered by that. Like it literally makes no sense to me. Like you want that. You want a solid backup. So that way, if your guys goes down, you're still able to win games and still be able to get into the playoffs. Look at what happened with the Browns. They had Watson. He literally got injured mid-season. They brought in Joe Flacco. The resurgence of Joe Flacco got them to win 11 games, and made it to the playoffs. The second Watson went down, they should have been out of the play. They should have been irrelevant. No, they brought in a solid backup who clearly still had juice in the tank, and he was able to go ahead and rattle off wins after win after win and get them into the playoffs. Give them a shot at least in the postseason. Got completely destroyed, but it's still a shot. You know what I mean? And again, I don't understand why people feel so triggered. It's like saying that, oh my God, if Skylar Thompson is actually pretty good, this is so horrible. It's not. It's not. It actually would be probably the best thing that could happen for the Dolphins. Because if we're gonna say that Tua is our franchise quarterback, having your 1-2 punch and they're both actually good and they're both able to run the offense and they're both able to go ahead and keep the ball moving, hello, that's literally what you want because they'll be young and cheaper. Like it is what it is. And at the end of the day, again, 1% chance they'll make the he'll sit out. If they do say, hey, we're gonna talk about the contracts next off season or next year within the season. 1% chance I give it for that to actually happen. But it's still a possibility. It's still a possibility. And if he ends up not being good, I mean, then at least you already know and you can move on or trade him or something. But you have a young player right there who, okay, well, Tua, you know what? You can sit out. It's your right. Go ahead and sit out. We're not paying you all this money to sit out. So remember, you're not going to be getting that paycheck. But You can sit out while we're dealing with the contracts negotiations, right? And then let's see what we got with Skylar. I don't see why that's such a horrible situation. For some people, it's a horrible situation because they don't want to see any competition for Tua whatsoever, which makes no sense to me. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. Everybody needs competition, period. Everybody in every position needs competition because at the very least, you're able to elevate yourself and prove, hey, you got it or you don't. Okay, then move on if you don't. But some people are like, oh my God, no, competition, no, no. Like it's going to hurt his feelings if he has somebody that can potentially beat him out. It's up to him. There's nothing we can do. We're just fans, guys. We're just fans. It's up to Tua. We can't do it for Tua. No matter how much I want Tua to succeed, be the franchise quarterback so we can have him for the next 10 years and have multiple shots at the Super Bowl, I could only wish until he actually does it. There's nothing I can do about that. And neither can you. Nothing. There's nothing we can do about that. Now, when it comes to his contract, the Dolphins are going to extend him because they put themselves in this situation. And ladies and gentlemen, no matter what happens, one thing is sure. And I don't know if you guys have seen this before. And if you're a young, super young Dolphins fan, if you're like if you just became a Dolphin fan within the last 3, 4 years, you may not know our track record as much, but we're already within the cycle, ladies and gentlemen, where it's like, okay, so you know how those charts, how they put like one thing and then another arrow and then another thing and then another arrow, another thing and then another arrow and another thing and another, you know what I mean? How it's like it's literally a loop. We're already there, ladies and gentlemen. We are already there. We are in the final stage, if you will, in my opinion. And that fork in the road is going to lead to two things. Either we completely blow it up, which again, 1% chance that happens. I highly doubt it because they've already told you we're going to be moving on. We're going to be moving forward, with all this. Or we're going to keep them. And here's 2.0, Tannehill 2.0. And we're going to have him for the next what? Already had him for 4 years. Added an extra what? 4 or 5 year contract, 6 year contract. So we can have some voidable years. Here's 10 years. Okay, cool. But we understand that those teams that have made it to the Super Bowl have made it to the Super Bowl and been successful when their QB has still been under their rookie contract because he's not going to cost you so much so you can put a bunch of stuff behind him, around him. We're not going to be able to go ahead and afford any players after we pay to them. And people are going to think, oh my God, it only costs $45 million or $40 million or $50 million, not the $60 million he was slotted to make. Um, you know why Pat Mahomes is making the money he's making? Because he's already been successful and has already shown being a franchise quarterback. That's why they gave him that $500 million contract for 10 years. He only really got $140 million fully guaranteed. So the rest of it is just restructured and then pay, restructure and pay, restructure and pay. Very, very team friendly contract. Well, guess what? They've already, whatever the $500 million has already quote unquote, out of the 10-year contract that he's had, because he's in year what, six? Now he's going into year seven. It's the smartest thing ever for them because now they've already got two rings out of it, six AFC championships appearances. He started out with his rookie contract. So, I mean, unfortunately, we were screwed by what was happening worldwide, the illness that happened worldwide, where we weren't able to put our hands on Tua. We were pre-sold on him, and the fact that he got that major injury. If Tua Tagovailoa would have never gotten that injury, ladies and gentlemen, he would have been even more ahead of already, in my opinion, way more developed in year four than what he is now. But with that injury, it really set him back. But we were sold on a video, literally a video and the word of one dude. Oh yeah, he's ready. Great, but now we have to develop him, which is fine because again, I told you this last off season, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I'm not shocked. Some people are like, "Oh my God, why are they giving him an extension?" Guys, I already prepped you this last off season. We already talked about this. The way this team, when it clicked for me, I'm like, that's why this doesn't upset me because I'm like, okay, well, we're still developing him. So, hence why I'm not surprised that um, what do you call it? He's going to be getting this extension because I told you they're treating him like a 1980s, 1990s quarterback when they're giving him 3, 4, 5, 6 years to develop to then have him long term. Are you kidding me, Miss Finn? 6 years to develop? He ain't the guy. This is what the Dolphins are telling you. Don't be mad at me just because I'm reiterating what they're saying. But that's where I'm at when it comes to that, ladies and gentlemen. And as far as what his contract could actually look like, I mean, there's so many different ways that they can structure this overall. And when it comes to Tua, obviously they're trying to give him this evaluation, which is insane to me. But when it comes to Tua himself, look, the market value that Spotrac is giving Tua is $50 million. Um, yeah. So right now, his average salary is $7.5 million. Right. Apparently, that contract is 28th ranked. Right. They're saying that his market value is a 6 years, $300 million contract, 50 million a year, or 50.4 million a year. That's what they're saying, right? Compared to what his counterparts are making right now. Right now, let's see here. Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Lamar, they all got 5-year extensions, essentially. The value of those contracts for Herbert was 262 and a half. For Murray, 230 and a half. For Hertz, 255 million. And for Lamar, 260 million. Granted, guys, this isn't talking about guaranteed monies, okay? It's just talking about overall contract value, which puts Herbert at a 52.5 million um, average salary. Kyler Murray, 46.1. Hurts at 51, and Lamar Jackson at 52 million. Now, as far as Tua, it would put him right, essentially right at the average, which is 50.4 million dollars. So that means 6 years, 300 plus $1 million. As far as the overall value of the contract, that's what they're slotting him to be making. Now, that doesn't mean that's what he will be making. It's just what they attribute as far as what is expected for him, which is um those $50 million a year. Now, some people are gonna say, well, if he's slotted to make 50, or if his value is at 50 and we get him for 45, then that means we did really good. Now, Tua's base salary next year is gonna be $23.1 million. Why? Because it's fully guaranteed. So that's also his debt cap for next year. So we'll see. We'll see when it comes to that. Obviously, yeah, we'll end up taking a look at exactly what his contract end up being. But so far, it looks like his market value. That's what they're determining it would be, which is somewhat what his counterparts are are making overall. So there you go. Yeah, this is gonna be very interesting. At the end of the day, this is gonna be this is gonna open up cap space by giving them, obviously, giving him that extension. They can take some of that fully guaranteed money, which to me, his fully guaranteed money is gonna be more similar to what Lamar got because of the injury concerns. Um, Maybe like 150, 180. To me, it should be less. To me, it should be less than that. Hertz also he didn't get that much fully guaranteed money, but I think between what Hertz got and what Lamar got in fully guarantees, I think that's what it'll end up being. Which I believe Hertz got 130. Let me see here. Let me pull it up real quick. His contract. Okay. Let's see here. Oof. Oof. He's only let's see, what year are we in? 2024? Okay. Got it. This year his cap hit was only 13 and a half. Next year it'll be 21.7. Year after that 31.7. The year after that 45.8. They have a potential out in 2028 after the fifth year of 208 million and a $24 million debt cap after 2028. Um his fully guaranteed money, that's what I was looking for here. He got 179.4 guaranteed money. That's why he got fully guaranteed. Excuse me. Now, there is a provision there, which I don't think it shows me here, but there is a provision there that deals with injury as well. Where it would be a little bit less than that he ends up getting as far as his contract is concerned. Excuse me, for Jackson, I think he got, let me see here. His fully guarantee was 185. There you go. So yeah, so he got a $72.5 million a signing bonus, 185 total guaranteed. That's what his contract ended up being. As far as like the fully total guaranteed money in his contract, $185 million. At signing was 135. Well, he obviously got that money. He got that check essentially, right off the bat. So $185 million. Hertz got 180 essentially. Um, I think Tua will be around that same amount. I don't think it'll be like a 200 or 200 plus $1 million. I don't see that at all. Let's see here. Mm, mm. Hey, what's up, Manolo? Welcome. Well, this sign him or let him walk. Well, we're gonna talk about the other players and things like that, guys. But at least I wanted to give you kind of my run through as far as what we could expect from Tua, as far as his contract is concerned, and what the value would be. Again, like I said, it's gonna be there's at least Spol's track. They got him 6 years, $300 million, average salary of 50.4, which is the average of what the other QBs around his age got as extensions. So we'll see. At least a $254 million contract is what you could expect, at least. So we'll see. It should be very interesting. It should be very interesting because right now, when it comes to the stats, you know, Tua has very similar stats to his counterparts. The difference is he doesn't have the postseason success. That's the difference right there. He doesn't have the postseason success. So if he were to get that postseason success, then yeah, that would really help out Tua in that situation. But he doesn't have that postseason success yet. So we'll have to see once that comes overall. Now, oof, athletes first. Yep. Mm, we'll see. He'll be 26 next year, so we'll see about that. But ladies and gentlemen, again, this is Miss Fins. I'm Miss Fins. I appreciate all you guys coming through. I just wanted to give you my 2 cents when it comes to what I thought Dolphins were doing as far as his contract, what that contract could look like. Having him, even if it was a 50 million, let's say, or even a $45 million salary a year, moving that guaranteed money over will really help out in the cap space, allowing us to pay some of the guys that are still coming up who are free agents, like a Wilkins. You know what I mean? So on and so forth. So we'll see what they'll end up doing. But this was just an update. Obviously, Tua fully expects to get extended this offseason. He's letting his agent. He told you that. So in the Pro Bowl, he's letting his agent handle that. And Greer has already come out and told you, hey, we fully expect Tua to be our quarterback in the future, playing at a high level. That's the goal. So I'm not surprised with that. I fully expect it to be this way. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we shouldn't be surprised either. You should already be expecting this. You see what I mean? So thank you so much, guys, for coming through. Tomorrow we got another great show. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you again, and I'll catch you later. Take care. Bye bye.